Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. I do hope that you're well. So today is the 18th of June, and I wanted to record a video linked into the solstice energies. You will either be going through summer solstice next week, or you'll be going through winter solstice. We also have the energy of the Cancer new moon that's building for the 28th of June, and indeed the arrival of the season of Cancer, which comes in around, I think, June the 22nd. So we have a changing of the guard in terms of the energies, and let's just sort of have a look at it. Wherever you are in the world, I think you'll benefit probably from listening to both parts of this video, because we are all interlinked. So you might be going into the shortest day and the energy of winter, but summer is just around the corner. And equally, if you're in summer, winter, dare I say it, is around the corner as well. So it's good to be forewarned in terms of what might be coming in as well. Before we get to all of that though, a bit of a, well, it's not unusual. When you work with spirit, nothing is unusual, to be honest, but it just took me by surprise a little bit this morning. I sat down here and I immediately went to reach for some of the sprays linked into what I regard as summer colours. Okay, so the yellows, the golds, the oranges, and I actually really just wanted the blue ray today. I wanted to be working with the blue ray. And I tuned into it, and Spirit said, the blue ray for wherever you are in the world, whether you're winter or summer solstice energy, blue ray is where it's at. And it intrigued me a little bit. So off camera, I just did a little bit of meditation with Archangel Michael. And what Michael showed me was a beautiful blue flame. And he says that this blue flame that is being offered, and we'll do a little visualization to just bring it in for you in a moment, but I want to just explain what we're about to do. This blue flame is something that is there to help you. Well, there's no polite way to put this because it applies to me just as much as you, okay? It applies to the whole world. We all need to cool it. We all need to chill out a bit more. What he's showing me is that the world of which we are all part, intrinsic part, it's almost like everything's too hot to handle right now. Heated tempers, frustration, lots of things coming up to the boil, lots of arguments. Now, even if you're very zen and you're thinking, no, I'm not that at all. Well, just look at the world around you, okay? It's everywhere. It's also linked into the fact that we're near a tipping point type energy in terms of certain things to be revealed, certain things to be exposed, lots of people getting a bit like, hot under the collar. All of that plays into this as well. So you can't not be affected by it because you're part of humanity. So humanity is being told by Archangel Michael to cool it, to chill out a bit. And it's interesting because, you could say, well, where's Ashtar? Because Ashtar would also probably say a similar thing because he comes in on that beautiful, very cool platinum ray. But I've got particularly Archangel Michael's energy right now with regard to this. Now, after he showed me the blue flame, I knew that I've got a card in my many decks that's got the blue flame in it. So I went and searched it out. It's a really good visual for you just to look at to get a handle on what I'm talking about. So this shows a person on the threshold of taking steps, but there is the blue flame energy around her now, or in front of her. Now, the thing about the blue flame is it's very protective. It helps you to see the truth. It helps to bring in clarity. But it's definitely it's a cool energy. It's a considered energy. It's not about rushing forward. It's not about being hasty. It's not about, you know, opening your mouth before you engage brain. It's that type of thing. These are considered steps. And the person in this card, she's almost standing on tiptoe as if to try and get a higher vantage point so that he or she can truly see the whole vista before making a decision or before moving. Okay, so then I was also told that this blue flame that we are all being given is coming to us in different ways. So some of you might be asked to hold it, very much like a beacon. It's a beacon that you hold and that goes before you, but it's definitely not a gold flame, it's a blue flame. It may be underneath your feet, and that's almost like the energy of walking over hot coals. Not that I'm saying anybody should do that, but it's the whole thing of mind over matter, that actually I can do what seems impossible. The blue flame can also be within your throat to help you with communication. It can be within your heart. Maybe there are some very, passion isn't something that necessarily you need to dampen, but indeed it's like balancing everything is important. So anything that is out of balance, the blue flame comes in to harmonise. I might pull some cards on the blue flame within the heart and what that actually stands for in a moment. It could also be that the blue flame is behind you or it's in front of you. So let's just bring it in for you. And then I've already pulled a couple of cards on its meaning as well. But first I want you to see it or feel it or sense it. Don't put any barriers in your way that, you know, you have to see it or feel it. You might not experience anything, but know that it is available for you just as much as it is for me and every other person. So if you can't sense it or feel it, invoke it. Imagine it in your hand, okay? So let's bring in Archangel Michael, who's going to help with this. This is the Michael spray. And just spend a moment, we're only going to spend a minute on this, just taking a nice deep breath in and out. And as you breathe in, I'd like you to be imagining that you're actually breathing in the air, but it has a blue tinge to it. So you're breathing in the calmness, the steadiness, the assurance that comes with the blue ray. So you're breathing that in, and then you're breathing out the blue vapor as well. Okay, now let's just bring that blue light around you. Archangel Michael, thank you for being with us. Let's just feel into Michael's energy. And he just comes in with this strength, coolness. Feel your feet upon the earth. Feel the steadiness that Michael brings, the calmness that Michael brings. And then just become aware of a blue flame that he has for you, and just see where you want to either ask him to place it or that you hold it. And just feel into that energy of blue. Take a deep breath in and out and open your eyes. Okay. You can do that for longer, obviously, yourself. But for the purposes of this video, I just wanted you to get a flash of that colour. So when I asked Michael earlier about this blue flame and what's it all about, what can it help us with, I got 3 cards. I got the energy of the Emperor, I got the 4 of Cups, and I got the 9 of Swords. And to me, this is very clear. It's basically saying that you have been stressing over something or worrying over something, maybe losing sleep over something. This doesn't have to be an external event. This can also just be within you. I say just, I mean, it's a big one, you know, if it's within you. I'm talking here about maybe there's something that's an illness or a condition or you're worrying about, I don't know, your children or your parents or yourself. You know, you might be worrying about yourself, your own health, all of that. But yeah, worry, stress, sleepless nights potentially, anxiety and stress would also come into it. But linked to that, there's an energy of what I'm wanting to say, what could have been, regret, things maybe that you didn't say that you wished you'd said, things that you could have done but you didn't do. Some reflection and melancholy linked into something that's gone, not acknowledging what you still have. Okay. This might also be the passing of years. Looking back with regret over the decades that have gone, not realising that you've still got another decade or another 5 decades within you, or however long you've got. None of us know at the end of the day. You might just have one more day that is left. Again, I talked about Deborah James in a video about a month ago, and she's the lady who's raised millions for cancer research in the UK. But the point about her, over and above any money that she's raised, is linked into what she's demonstrating is that you have to live every day with no regrets. So she was given a week to live a month ago. She's still alive at the moment, but every day she's making memories. Every day she's doing something different. It's very humbling to see it. But yeah, back to you, regret over something. But the Emperor is here saying, this is Michael. This is actually Archangel Michael today, the Emperor. He's saying, why do you doubt the natural order of things? That basically, I've got it in hand. I've got it in hand. Whatever this is that's troubling you, I have it in hand. Now, that doesn't mean that he just waves a magic wand and makes it go away. What he means by that is that he can give you the support and the help that you need to get yourself through. So for me, earlier when I was tuning in, I felt like I was on a battleground, like in the middle of a battlefield. Many of us will probably feel like that. And indeed, humanity is very much at that place at the moment. But there was such a lack of worry or panic or anxiety with Michael running all the way through me in the midst of chaos potentially. I'm talking generally here in terms of humanity. So I was just shown the fact that, again, this energy of chill, cool it, because you don't win at life and you don't win a battle by, my favourite expression, running around like headless chickens, which is what most of humanity are doing at the moment, okay? As light workers, we're being asked to hold this cool blue flame. And I'm hearing the word mesmerizing. It's a mesmerizing flame for others. It has a profound effect on you holding it yourself, but equally other people almost like stop what they're doing, come out of their hypnotic state of just whatever they're doing. And it's like, whoa, why is that person able to hold such peace and such stillness in the middle of all this craziness? It's because you're holding the blue flame. And actually what happens is you become the blue flame. You become the blue flame. So, and again, there's another message here. This isn't just Michael, but he's saying it on behalf of many of the other angels and ascended masters, which is like, why doubt God? Why doubt God? And we do. We doubt God all the time. But we mustn't. And I'm very aware that many people are going through very difficult times at the moment. I know people in my own life who are going through very difficult times. But knowing that you have that blue flame that you can carry with you makes everything copeable and doable and survivable. All right? So that's the first message today. Okay, so that's 15 minutes. Let's now go a bit deeper and pull some cards for the solstice. Before I do that, I wanted just to mention the other thing about cool it is literal as well in terms of the globe. So we know that in parts of America, I'm just reading a headline here from the paper one of the papers here. It says sauna-like heat dome is set to smother 50 million Americans with tropical humidity this week. 110 Fahrenheit weather could smash records set in 1925 as Alabama, Georgia and South Carolina brace for highs. Again, I send my sympathies and cool English vibes, cool English rain and our temperate climate to you. But also this thing about cool it, this isn't just applied to, of course, Americans, it applies to all of us. But I truly do believe what Dr. Masaru Emoto taught, and I've said this many times, which is when you look around at the world and you see whatever you see, tornadoes, massive flooding, terrible heat like that, always look at the consciousness within those places. And don't get triggered by that just because you think, well, hold on, what are you going on about? It's not my fault. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm saying it's a collective consciousness that is in a land, that's in a country, that's around the whole globe. We're all being told to cool it. Because if we don't, there's this relationship which nature will just match us. You know, you see it within families, you know. I've always noted it as a mother that if I, you know, I'm in a really bad mood, bad-tempered, whatever, loads of anger. I mean, I'm not like that really much these days, but I certainly was, you know, a few decades ago. You will always see it reflected in your children because we all mirror each other. We all bounce off each other. So the more heated that we get as individuals in our responses, the more that, unfortunately, we're going to see it reflected in nature as well. That's not to say there aren't other factors at play, but let's try and control the things that we can control. Anyway, I do send my, coping, to be honest, it's not me, Michael's sending his blue flame to you, okay, in those parts of the world. And it isn't a heating flame, it's a cooling flame. All right, let's start with summer solstice then, and let's see what messages want to come through. Let's go to the Queen of the Moon Oracle and see. So I'm feeling 4 cards from this deck, please, for people within the summer solstice part of the world. For those celebrating summer solstice, 4 cards, please. First message I'm hearing, not for everybody, but for some people, is that some people are keeping their light very close to their chest still. There's still a lot of people that are hiding their light, not wanting to maybe come out as a light worker. You know, you don't actually have to come out and say, I am a light worker, but, you know, it's about your actions and about what you say. And I mean, it's a constant battle for all of us at the end of the day because we're all evolving. Even when you are a light worker, there's higher and higher degrees of it. I had an example yesterday. I had somebody visit and they've got a real battle on their hands, but I know this particular person isn't into any of this at all. In some ways, he's a little bit scared by it, even though I know they love me unconditionally, actually, but they're a bit scared of it. And in retrospect, well, I will tell you the story. They were basically saying that they were worried about having to go into a lift because they had to visit somebody in hospital. And in many ways, I watered down what I needed to say. I should have basically just thrust, well, not quite thrust, but, you know, put, for example, like the fear fighter spray into the hand and just said, you know, just try this. You never know, it might help you. Or a crystal, or, you know, what I believe, what I would do in similar circumstances. But I didn't say that. So in many ways, I was denying that part of myself that could have done that because of fear of what they might have said, or that I thought they weren't ready for it. But who's to say who's ready for anything? That might have been the moment that that person actually needed me to do that. Okay? So, yeah. Right, we've got the card of focus. Focus for summer solstice. And look at that. Isn't that nice? Blue butterfly, just hovering above the third eye. Focus. And we have got the full moon there as well. She's even got, for God's sake, blue eyeshadow on. I mean, come on. That's a bit 1980s. We don't have to necessarily do that again. But no, in all seriousness, we've got energy of focus. Okay, let's have another 3 cards. Summer solstice energies. Sorry, I'm being told to stop because I need to go back to that story I've just said about the lady in the lift and being frightened to go in it. And why didn't I, for example, give her a spray or suggest a crystal or any of the things I would use? Because you see, look, she actually, there's an awakening happen with it. There's an awakening happen within that person. But the thing is, you can't necessarily see the awakening because they don't want to tell you either. So it's like this cautious dance that sometimes we're doing with people. And this is people in our families, friendship groups. And it's like, well, okay, you know, I'm not going to say that because I don't think you're ready for it. Or, you know, because you haven't been ready for it before. But now, look at that. The light is coming in. The butterfly is emerging. More and more people are waking up, guys. I'm not going to repeat it, because it's your choice if you don't want to follow me on my other social media, and it doesn't matter at all. But, you know, those of you that do know that I told a story yesterday, a couple of stories that just illustrated the goodness in people. And a lot of you basically replied and said, yes, we're seeing it more and more. And more people starting to wake up. But not just wake up to truths, you know, and what's in the news and what's behind the news. I'm talking about waking up to their true self, their divinity. But yeah, the goodness in people. Focus on that. I will just say that, you know, well, it's my aunt and uncle I'm talking about. It's my aunt in particular, who I love actually unconditionally. She's one of my favourite people on the whole earth. And I should have maybe said something a bit more spiritual to her rather than just fob her off with what I said was, well, why she's got to go up three flights in this lift. And so I said to her, I said, well, why don't you just do one flight at a time? You know, get in the lift and do one flight and then come out again and then take a breather and then go back in and do another. And then somebody said to me, no, that's worse, Amanda. You know, that's making it even more protracted. And I realised that because it wasn't the truth of what I really wanted to say. But I will just tell you a little story. I'm sure she won't mind me saying, and she's not going to be watching this video, although you never know. She got stranded on some rocks in, I don't know, Devon or Cornwall. Quite nasty, you know, when you go out and looking at rock pools and things, and she went a bit further than she thought she had. And then the tide started to come in and she actually got stranded on these rocks. And, you know, I think she probably would have drowned, but basically there were three guys sitting on a cliff top who saw her and saw her predicament, and they came straight down and they helped her. And, you know, they got her off the rocks, basically, you know, literally like piggyback type thing. Good people in the world. Good people in the world. You know, let's start shouting that out more than the misery guts, you know, and the people that are trying to keep us down the whole time. And, you know, the people that are out there that just maybe are meant to be out there to be the contrast to the light. But, you know, focus on the light. Summer solstice peeps and everybody, actually, just focus on the light. Okay, let's have another 3 cards. I've just got to focus on my water now. I'm a bit dehydrated. Hold on. You see, water cools you down. We need to be drinking more water. We need to be near water. When I mean we need to be near water, I know not everybody can live by the sea or a lake, but I just mean you can use water in many ways, water therapies. Drinking water. Okay. 3 more cards. Summer solstice. Action. Is this deck called? Oh, it's called Queen of the Moon Oracle. Okay. I was going to say there's a lot of depictions of the moon in it. Duh! It's called Queen of the Moon Oracle. Okay, it's in all of the cards. Right. Focus and action. 2 more cards. Acceptance. That card came up yesterday. We talked about that on Instagram. Yeah. 1 more card. Beginnings. Nice. Okay. I'll show you the cards in a moment. I just need to interpret them. We need to focus. It's obvious. You don't need to be able to read the cards to read these cards. We need to focus on the actions that we need to take, and we need to accept the new beginnings that are here for us. I mean, there we go. That's it, basically. That is what it's saying. Let's just see if there's anything any deeper that I need to say here. That beginnings card, whatever the new beginning is that you're going to be attempting to do or moving towards, taking action towards, is very, very different from where you've been. This might be a mindset. It could be a new job. It could be a new relationship. It could even be like it's happening in my house where, you know, we're completely renovating downstairs. It's going to be completely different. It's going to feel completely different. It's going to look completely different. It's going to have a completely different energy. Maybe you're working on self-care. Maybe you're coming away from patterns of neglect, self-abuse, etc. The new you is going to look very different as a consequence of those actions, but you have to walk through the gateway. And, you know, look at what is around the gateway as opposed to what's the other side of it. Very, very different energy. I also feel as though the gateway is the solstice, that if we consciously walk through it with our blue flame, we will be surprised at what lies on the other side. Oh, come on. I just picked up this card as I said that. What lies on the other side? How much do you love Spirit? The unexpected lies on the other side. The unexpected. Now, how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel like, oh my God, oh my God, what's on the other side? It's unexpected. I don't know what it is. So you go into massive control, you know? I definitely wrestle with the energy of control all the time. And actually, I've wanted to say this before because I've brought it up in videos. When you have an energy of trying to move away from a controlled mindset, you know, that I like things just the way they are, and I like to know what is on the other side of the doorway that I'm going through. What are you saying, Amanda, that I would go through it and I don't know what's going to be on the other side? Who would want to do that? You know, no, I want to control the outcome. I need to know exactly what the new job's going to be like. I need to know exactly, you know, what the new relationship, how it will pan out from day one and the first date. No, you're not going to know that. It's meant to be unexpected. But those of us that have got this control thing, it comes from a place where we've been protecting ourselves for years. Okay, we've been protecting ourselves for years, maybe for very valid reasons, and it often goes right back to childhood. And it also often goes back to the fact you've had to grow up grow up a little bit earlier than you should have done. You know, you've had to take on more responsibility. You've had to take on more duty. And so that control has been something that's kept you feeling secure. We had the Emperor card before. It's like you become the Emperor. But even the Emperor sometimes needs to know when to budge. And remember, we got this card, which was Michael saying everything is, you know, we've got it. You just chill out. All you've got to do is chill out and walk through this gateway, okay? And if you do that with an open heart and a cool attitude, not running through it, you know, to be the first, that's ego, just walking through it at your own pace with an open heart and an open mind, the unexpected comes in. Look how beautiful that card is. And no, I'm not going to read any other cards on, well, what is the unexpected? Because then you're back to a controlled mindset. The unexpected is the unexpected. You don't see it coming. And wouldn't that be lovely as well as if, as a world, we could do that? We could just all chill out, walk through these gateways with no expectation. Also, no expectation on other people. The expectation should be that, you know, you can do it. Rather than, what I'm trying to say is we have expectations and we put people into boxes. That you are this, that you are that I think you are that. And so therefore it's almost like you straitjacket people because they can't just break out and be something different. Okay, so lovely cards there for summer solstice. Let's see, before I move on, let's pull an animal card and a Metatron card for you for summer solstice energy. So Metatron card for summer solstice. The two M's, Metatron and Michael. Summer solstice energies. Well, there's two actually that have come through. Yes, and very much in line with what I've been saying. The new dawn, welcome it, and leadership. Step up and answer the call. Step up and answer the call. Sometimes the card of leadership can make people be a little bit fearful, but really you're just being asked to be in charge of your own life, to lead rather than to follow, to be your own person, to answer the call of the light. I mean, actually, if you can imagine that card now with a blue flame that person, i.e. you, is holding, you're being asked to hold it and walk into the new dawn. So that's the Metatron message. Let's pull a card from the Bird Feathers deck for Summer Solstice. It's like I want all of them. So it's like the Dawn Chorus. We've got Goose. It says, your dreams and desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today. The journey begins today. Okay. Right. Let's now move on and have a look at winter solstice energies. So, let's just use a little bit of the white sage spray just to clear. Winter solstice. Okay. 5 cards I'm hearing. 5 cards. Winter solstice. I'm hearing that you've almost got to you almost are at the unexpected. There's almost like an energy of the unexpected already arrived for winter solstice peeps. I'm feeling particularly weather. I'm being drawn to Australia, and I don't know if there's something going on with your weather as well, whether it's behaving in ways that it normally doesn't behave. It's unexpectedly cold or unexpectedly wet or unexpectedly windy. I also feel as though seeing people in unexpected ways, unexpected developments. It's not just Australia, of course, as well, other places, New Zealand. We've got darkness. Yeah, I mean, just shows the cards work, doesn't it? Darkness. I've never seen that card before. I think I might read the message that goes with that one. Winter solstice, darkness, the long night moon, card number 40. It's exactly where you're at. Let's have a look. Card 40. It says you're entering a time of introversion, a leaner time, or a time to turn inward, to plan and strategize. It's time to do shadow work, which will bring big dividends later on. Release what no longer works for you. So yeah, the energy of shadow work. We do have a spray that links into shadow work. If you don't know, if you're new to my channel, let me just grab it. In fact, I usually recommend that it's sold with another one. So the shadow spray is the Midnight Indigo. And it's quite interesting because those of you that actually follow my work with the sprays, you know that we're redesigning all of the bottles. And when we ordered the new Archangel Michael bottles, it wasn't supposed to be that colour. They made a mistake. But because we've been waiting a couple of months for them, or quite a few weeks anyway, I said to Tracy, I said, no, we'll just accept them. It's fine. You know, maybe it's the way it's meant to be. And then, you know, the next batch, we might change the colour again, you know. But for now, it's fine. It's lovely, actually. Michael looks lovely in those colours. Look, it's exactly the same colour as the Midnight Indigo. I mean, they've got completely different essential oils and completely different energy. But Michael is representing the shadow here as well. He's saying it's safe to come into it. It's safe to look at your wounding. It's safe to look at what lurks in the darkness. Okay. And actually, in many ways, when I said the unexpected is already here, in terms of shadow work, I think what's being uncovered is that when you're brave enough to do that and go into it, it's not nearly as scary as you think it's going to be. When you're carrying the blue flame, okay? Carry the blue flame with you. Take Michael with you into your shadow work, as well as Metatron, and just ask for whatever needs to be shown to you to reveal itself. You know, what am I doing that is actually harming myself? This job that I'm doing, is it actually killing me. I was talking to somebody the other day who actually hates their job, hates every second of it. I've had jobs like that in the past. It does, it slowly destroys you. Or maybe it's a mindset. Maybe you've got, I don't know, like the victim mindset. That is just so destructive. So it's like, but when you actually look at it with the blue flame energy and you start to learn, okay, well, why is it there? It's like what I was saying earlier about, I put my hands up that over the course of my life, I like control. The worst thing for me is if somebody arrives at the front door and says, right, we're going off and we're going on a whatever today, and I don't know they're coming. That would be my idea of hell. I'm not very good at being spontaneous, but I'm moving towards it because I know that's what I need to be like. But I struggle with it big time because the control energy is a shadow energy. But I have compassion for myself because I know why it's there. And it's served me very well for many years. Okay, but do I now need to keep wearing that coat? So whether it's an energy, a shadow energy of control, whether it's a shadow energy of being a victim, life's eternal victim, poor me, that type of energy, etc. Michael makes it safe, okay? But equally, the Midnight Indigo Spray, Light in the Dark, is very, very brilliant, I think, for doing this work as well. That's what it's intended for. And I usually complement it with the Sunrise, New Dawn. They go together, night and day. Going into the darkness, but then coming back out into the light. Oh, I understand now why I'm like that, or why I did that, or why I always fall into this pattern. All of that. So that's the first card. Okay, we said 5 cards, didn't we? So let's see. Darkness. Because there's an expression, isn't there? Caught in the headlights, and I'm seeing like a rabbit in my mind's eye. I'm sure there's another card that I've got with like this rabbit. It's like he's caught in the headlights, and it's like it's all a shock. This rabbit's not like that at all. This rabbit is waiting for the disclosure, your personal disclosure. The light is coming, quite comfortable with it, ready for it. Okay, let's see what else we can get. Oops. 2 cards fell out together there. We have the card of balance and the card of blossoming, the 2 Bs. Okay, the 2 Bs, balance and blossoming. So you're entering a time, if you consciously choose to walk through the gateway of winter solstice, of becoming more balanced in all things, and blossoming as a result of it. Okay, blossoming as a result of it. Let me just pull the other 2 cards and then we'll get a picture of where we're going. There's definitely something as well, sorry, before I do that, about clouded thinking, that you've had very clouded thinking, or you haven't been able to see the way forward. But what seems to come in with the winter solstice energies, those of us that are doing the work, is clarity and precision. Can you see the light that's coming off that fiddle that she's playing? The light, the precision of it is beautiful. It's like I suddenly realise what I need to be focusing on, what I need to be working on. And actually, as a result, my garden is growing abundant. Garden being symbolic. My garden is abundant because the cloudedness has gone. I'm more balanced. Think about what is out of balance in your own life. Because deep down if you dip into your shadow and rather than running from it and being scared of it, embracing it and saying, okay, well, why am I doing these things? Why do I always react like that? Meditating on that. Talking it out with somebody, whether it's a counsellor, whether it's a good friend, whether it's journaling, getting it out, deciphering it, reflecting on it, all of that. That's how you do it. Pleasure. We have the energy of pleasure. Time to have a bit of fun. Okay? Time to have a bit of fun. When it's all work and no play. When it's dark, you need to find the light. What goes with the energy of pleasure? Boundaries. Yeah, it's interesting because I was about to say something along the lines of, the actual phrase has gone out of my head, it was something along the lines of some people are finding it very hard to have pleasure, but it was linked into restrictions and control. And then we had the card of boundaries. Look at that. Being told maybe that you can't. Maybe there's a pattern from childhood that you can't do that. You know, pleasure is about many different things. I link it with play, the energy of play. What puts a smile on your face? What do you love doing? I don't know, it could be anything. For me, one of the things is music. I just love, in fact, my daughters were saying last night, it's a bit of a bad habit in many ways, but equally it's something that does give me a guilty pleasure. It's like I sit down in the lounge, I put my headphones in, and they might be watching TV, and I'm usually listening to music, and they said that you're just sitting there, Mum, like this, you know. It's like, I mean, they were laughing at me. They weren't having a real go or anything like that, but I thought, yeah, balance in all things, because actually sometimes take the headphones off, Amanda, and actually have a conversation with them. We know you love your music, but equally you need to talk, all of that. What else? Boundaries and pleasure. I think it's linked into the fact that some of us just don't know how. We just don't know how. You've got to break out of that bubble that basically says life is about work, work, work. You know, work for however many decades, then you get your pension and your carriage clock, and that's what it's all about. Life is about work, life is about duty. Well, yeah, life is about that, but it's also about having a bit of fun. So it seems to very much go with this card of balance, doesn't it? Okay, let's pull a couple of cards, or one card from the Metatron deck for people going through winter solstice. The other thing I want to say about this pleasure card is look at the ramifications of when you are in a state of joy and happiness. Look at how it bounces off you. It affects so many other people when you're happy, when you're joyful. It sparks off and ignites others. Others light up because you are lit up, because you're doing something you love. So don't deny yourself that, because when you deny yourself it, you're actually denying these beautiful sort of like fireworks that just come from you, that radiate out. You know, joy and happiness is such an infectious energy. Give yourself permission to play, give yourself permission to have pleasure. Rather than just wishing it, you know, sitting there wishing it in a bubble. I wish I could, but I can't. And these buts sometimes can be very real. You know, maybe you do have a lot of responsibilities, you do have a lot of duties. I'm being shown here people that maybe have to care for, I don't know, injured children, or parents with dementia, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, or that may very well be the case. But don't let it just be always but. Somehow carve out a slice of time for yourself over this next cycle. Carve it into your diary. You know, get a diary out and carve it in. I probably shouldn't say this, but I know they'll never watch the video. I actually know somebody. It's a man. It's just a man. It's not anybody somebody I know of. A friend of a friend, let's put it that way. And he got married years ago. And I don't know, I remember saying, how's it going, or whatever. I think I might have said it to the wife. And I remember her saying, she said, yeah, but the thing is, so-and-so, he slots having, you know, sex basically into the diary. So it's like, I don't know, whether it's every Wednesday night or every month, or whatever it is, whatever your frequency is. And she says, he diaries it in. And at the time I thought, he diaries it in? How unromantic is that? How awful is that? But actually, in some ways, if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do, okay? It doesn't obviously have to be sex. It could be anything, okay? Anything that makes you smile. It could be going to a rock concert, you know. It could be, I don't know, going for a picnic on the beach. You know, you do sometimes have to diary it in, you know, particularly if you've got a lot of responsibilities. Right, my nose is itching, so that's always a sign. There's a truth. There's a truth in what I'm saying, guys. Right. Date nights would be another example. Okay, date nights, you know, long-term relationship, or, you know, you can get into a rut. Date nights are important. Diary them in. There's this thing with boundaries, you know, break out of that bubble. Okay, so the card you've got for winter solstice is, well, I'll take the one on the bottom of the deck as well. We've got Shine On, Beacon. Very appropriate because you're going into the shortest day. Shine on, shine on, shine on. Be that light for others, but equally it's an energy of grounding. Mother Earth, the grounding card, okay? It's very much nest-like, isn't it? You know, going into the cocoon, hibernating, nourishing yourself in that way. Let's pull a feathers card and then we'll round up for everybody. Am I going really shiny? Shiny not in a good way, shiny in a sort of hot way. I feel as though I am. It feels like it's going to storm here. Right. A bird message for people in winter solstice energy. The magpie, how appropriate. Black and white. Reevaluate your priority. It's what I've just said about diarying things in. Reevaluate your priorities. It is time to let go of what you no longer need. Priorities. Where's the Metatron card on priorities? I've been talking about this a bit recently. Yeah, there it is. Straight away, I found it. Okay. You know, if you want to get fit, prioritize it. Go to the gym. Start doing your daily walks again. Am I talking for myself here? Yes, I am as well. All of that. Prioritize what's important. Okay. All right. So that was the winter solstice. Now let's just wrap up and see if there's any other general messages for us. I think I might use a different deck. Okay, I'm being drawn to this deck. Psychic Tarot of the Heart. I haven't used this for a while. John Holland. 3 cards in here, I'm hearing. One of the videos that I'm really looking forward to bringing through for you soonish, probably after the summer if I'm being realistic. I want to do some videos on tarot and oracle cards and what I've learnt about tuning into them and working with them and reading them, and be a nice informal series of work, I think. But anyway, this one is calling me for some reason, so let's see. So for the people watching, whether they're in the summer or winter solstice energy, we're all about to move into the energy of Cancer from the 22nd of July. Hooray! Love Cancer season for obvious reasons. Let's see. Spread your wings. Spread your wings. What goes with spread your wings? I'll show you the card again in a minute because that's a lovely card. Choose your battles. Okay, one more. Joy and stability and trust. This one is actually the Fool card, I think, from memory. It's to do with starting over, brand new beginning. Spread your wings, choose your battles, and joy and stability. I think this is a nod to the fact that we're all investing too much in things that sometimes don't actually matter, or things that we can't control. It's fine to, of course, be informed and dip into things, but if, you know, I've talked about this before, if you're slipping far too much down into the rabbit hole and just becoming thoroughly depressed, and actually there's nothing you can really do about it, start to focus on joy and stability again. Bring yourself back up. But, you know, more than anything, this might also be linked into your personal life. Choose your battles. I don't know, it's a very personal message. Let's just see if I can get a bit deeper. When I say personal, I mean that there's many different messages that could come from that are unique to you as an individual. I'd like you to focus on choose your battles. What does that mean? I'm going back to the energy of the beginning of this video, the Blue Flame Archangel Michael. I just saw myself on the battlefield and knowing that everything was okay, everything was in hand. I would make it through to the other side, whatever on earth that even means. You know, there's the battle of life. But equally, on a battlefield, what you don't do is walk right into, you know, these type of energies by choice, do you? Why would you do that? You find the path that is going to be more conducive to you. Unless there's some sort of ego complex that it's like, I don't know, I have to show my worth in some way by, you know, being in battle with this type of energy to bring it down. But let me just pull another couple of cards on that. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes we sort of go into battle with things in life just to prove a point. That's what I'm trying to say. Just to prove our point. Whereas actually, do we need to really always prove a point? Should we not just really be in the heart? The energy of the heart chakra. That's where it's really about, isn't it? Because remember, when you're holding the blue flame, it doesn't mean that there isn't chaos around you. There will be. There'll be all the headless chickens doing whatever, you know, all that heated energy. They're not cooling it at all. You're the one that's being asked to cool it, to chill. Because then by doing that, they might actually notice that there is another way of doing things. So yeah, we have the card of the heart chakra. And the energy of teach. Yeah. Lead by example, teach by example. Hold the energy that's going to teach others how to be. Not in a way that is, you know, fundamental and telling people what to do. Just by being that peaceful eye in the storm. Okay? So I think I'm going to leave it there for now, and I will probably record another video tomorrow, but I'll put it up later in the week because I'm going away for 3 weeks. But I'm going to be coming back. I'm not that far from home, and I will try and you might have to do some videos for YouTube just on the you know, the camera phone. We'll see how it goes. But I'm definitely going to be going and just, you know, working on myself and doing some, you know, doing some of my own work as well, healing work I mean, and also having a bit of fun. So lots of love to everybody. Thank you for all of your support and all of your good wishes and lovely comments. I do appreciate them and I do read them all. Take great care of yourself and have a good solstice wherever you are. And let's welcome in the energy of the Cancer season, which definitely feels as though it's going to be a theme of returning to the heart. Okay, much love. Bye-bye for now. Bye.